So Libra, your week beginning the 15th of September has a paradox threaded through it. Your ruler Venus, which is coming to the end of her journey in the most social part of your situation, connects in a very positive way to Mars, which has been in your sign for the last 6 weeks. If there is a hobby group or a social group that you're drawn towards joining, this combination can give you the confidence to go for it. If you're already in a group of people that you're enjoying, you're going to take on a starring role. But the paradox comes from the fact that Mercury moves into your sign on Thursday, where it's going to be through to the end of the 6th of October. And that gives you the chance to focus on ideas, perhaps ideas that have been permeating in the back of your mind. And its connection to Uranus and Pluto suggests that a conversation you have could be extremely exciting. The complexity, however, is that Mercury, just before it joins your sign, does go into a crunching opposition with Saturn in the part of your chart to do with details. And then the Sun replicates Mercury in the second half of this week. Then we have that solar eclipse. Now, in the sign of Virgo for you, that pushes you to perhaps look at some tender subjects, maybe relating to your past. It could be to do with some fears. It may be to do with losses and separations that have been pushed to one side, and perhaps bring them into the center of your thinking. Because if you don't, Saturn on the other side of the heavens could see your physical vitality start to drop if there are some unconscious issues still bubbling away. But see it as an opportunity. But I do feel that Venus diving into the sign of Virgo and replacing Mercury could be quite challenging for any kind of relationship which isn't working so well. So this is a week, and this is the paradox, where there could be one person or a group of people you can feel very aligned to and can celebrate, but there may be another group of people, and it could be to do with your work, who you can feel much more out of sync, or you can become much more conscious of where relationships aren't quite working. Because I think what Venus has been doing over the previous around about 3 weeks before this week is just making you more conscious of what your true aspiration of the contacts you have, and that means not necessarily accepting second best. And Saturn, although it is very much about responsibility and obligation, hard work, frankly, in the sign of Pisces through to the middle of February next year, in some ways is asking you not to be too yielding. If something isn't working and you have a worry about it, listen to that. And with Mercury moving into your sign in time over the next week or two, you're going to become much more conscious of where you need to make a change, and that will be aided hugely from the beginning of next week when the Sun arrives back in Libra and Mars leaves your sign. But that's the beginning of Cardinal Quadrant 3, the autumnal equinox, and that can really see you come into the moment. So if you have a week when you're not quite sure of where you stand on certain situations, just focus on what you can do in terms of self-care, whether it's physical or emotional. But if there are certain people around you who are not meeting your standards, I think it is a time to be more circumspect about where or who you spend time with. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundell.com. Download that free natal chart with that terrific interpretation. Please see below for more. patrickarundell.com.